Message received 3:30 p.m.
Patrick, are you there? I know you're there. Pick up. Damn it, Patrick. This unprofessionalism has to cease. Get on here with that painting and statue ASAP. And if they're not done, you come deal with Rachel Maddox. She's climbing the walls, not to mention my ass. Take half an hour and put some finishing touches on and bring that blasted art. I need her final payment today to cover up well, damn it, just get down here. This witch is finding new depths of unpleasantness, and we have to calm her down somehow. And Patrick, if you're not here within the hour, my next call will be to my attorney to instruct him to sue your egotistical irresponsible ass. Understood?
Wow. Doesn't sound much like the host and ally we know. Sounds like Ackerman was on the edge. We've done all we can with that item. 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 We've done all we can with that item.
Once you get enough evidence, I'll hit up a judge.
Goodness, I don't know. Perhaps I stepped in it when I found her. I'm sure that must be it. I just don't remember that clearly. It's all a jumble. I'm sorry, unless you have a warrant, I just can't allow you to go flinging your fingerprint powder around and spritzing your various sprays. Why wouldn't it be? I'm a hands-on gallery owner, and as it happens, I showed that very piece earlier today to a prospective buyer. Wasn't anyone else's fingerprint on there?
No, just you, Mr. Ackerman. But that doesn't prove you took your own statue, just that you touched that pedestal.
I wouldn't call it a threat. Patrick was well aware we had a client who was high-strung, and that if that artwork was late, there would be hell to pay. Well, why should I pay it? You know that any business suffers occasional cash flow problems, but really, mentioning I might sue him was my way of lighting a fire under Patrick. He is a fussy perfectionist, and I know he could finish up that painting and even the sculpture by deadline if he just got on with it. Yes. Why? Is that a problem?
Why did you leave this out of the report?
Oh, well, frankly, I forgot all about that.
There were no keys on her body.
Well, I took them, actually. They were my property, after all, and I didn't see how they could be important. Nothing sinister about it, just an oversight, my failing to mention it. Surely you can understand I'm a bit flustered after all of this. Yes, I'm sorry, of course.
Try something else, similar. Rachel's blood on the keys means they were near her when she was attacked. Could the killer have used them too? This key has Rachel's print on it, so it's possible she opened that locked office before she died. I wonder if our Hawk statue took flight back there. Rachel's blood is on these keys. Ackerman must have taken them from the crime scene, but was it during or after the crime? We've done all we can with that item.
Okay. Looks like our Vic may have had access to the back office, and it's possible we may find our murder weapon back there. That's enough to get a search warrant.
Something tells me this isn't baby powder. Let's run a narcotics test on it. We need to detect something before we can collect. You'll want a different tool for that. A paper shredder. Look like he's got a fresh crop. The safe is locked. Since it's too small to hold a murder weapon, our search warrant doesn't let us unlock it. We'll need a different warrant to get in here. It's possible our blunt force bird didn't fly far from the coop after all. Let's see what Robbins has to say about this.
Suppose there's no way of avoiding this, and why I should want to protect that son of a bitch Ackerman I'll never know. Call it misguided loyalty, but anyway, financial problems is an understatement. He owes me thousands, and over these past 6 months or so, he's come up with some, shall we say, unconventional ways of reimbursing me when cash wasn't handy. Well, he offered me his second car, a big screen television from his former rec room, any number of nice, but honestly secondhand items. I took a few of these offers just to help out, but Nathan's still into me for, well, let's just say the notion of him suing me is amusing. I know he often accepts cash payments from clients, for reasons you could probably guess, detectives that you are. If not, ask the IRS. Sometimes he's had enough cash in that safe of his to paper those gallery walls.
What safe are you talking about?
Oh, it's in his back office slash stock room. Keeps documents, sales records, and so on in there, I believe.
Well, with cash in that safe, maybe you broke in to claim it was yours, and Rachel Maddox just happened to be there after hours, the very person you wanted to avoid.
Ridiculous! That's slander!
So sue me.
Look, I'll cooperate. I know you have a job to do. But understand that I have a job to do myself. Take what you want, and then please leave me to my work to myself. Art doesn't happen. It's a struggle, and I need my solitude. And it may seem callous, but I consider finishing my artwork a higher priority than finding whoever killed Rachel Maddox. Dig into her life, and you'll find as many people not sorry to see her dead as you will scroll hair brushes.
Well, it looks like the prospective bride and groom had their prelim honeymoon on this desk. This paint is not common. It's probably a mix of multiple paints, which is why the database can't find a match. So we got common variety squirrel paintbrush fibers. The two samples are consistent with each other, but not enough for positive identification.
At first I thought it might, but the eagle's bill is much larger than whatever caused the actual puncture wound. This is definitely not the murder weapon.
We have a hostile person who claims he wasn't there, but he has the Vic's blood on him. Let's talk.
All right, all right. After our cool down in the back room, we got into another argument. She started all romantic and sweet, then surprised me with these theater tickets to the most expensive show in town, that Canadian chick who sings real high and all, but I told Rach I couldn't blow off my buddies who've been planning this big bachelor party for me. She was so pissed. What do you want to see naked women for when you have me? I said, Rach, it's not a sex thing. It's a guy thing. I got to spend my last night of freedom with them. That set her off again, but I wasn't having any. I just stormed out of there.
Stormed out? Oh, I thought you kept your cool these days.
I did keep my cool. That's how I kept it, by just walking away. What I hate is that it ended like that we parted on that nasty note.
Stormed out? Oh, I thought you kept your cool these days.
I had her blood on my clothes plenty of times. Rachel had rhinoplasty a few years ago. Since then, she's had trouble with nosebleeds. She had one just before we went to the gallery. I noticed it. I changed my shirt before we left. How did you know that?
We found evidence of your semen inside of her.
Oh, Rachel had a predictable habit. Whenever she got really mad, she wanted to work it off. The fact that Ackerman left us alone, it just made things happen faster. It was the one thing that made her temper bearable. The makeup sex.
Mr. Stock, for a guy who suffered a blow like this, frankly, you seem kind of, clinical about your late fiancé.
I'll do my grieving my own way, pal. But I'm sure you'll find out about this anyway. I was on the verge of calling it off. The whole shooting match. Relationship, wedding, whole deal. Great sex is not enough for all this stress. Rachel was turning into an out-of-control, unreasonable nutcase of self-involved vanity. But I still loved her. Sure, sort of. I was on the highway, busting ass getting to my pals waiting for me downtown, so I can't prove it, but they'll verify when I showed up.
So, the cooperative Mr. Ackerman is holding out again. He'd been hit by a nasty lawsuit by the Vic. Maybe he pretended to mail his package, but instead waited for Mark to leave and went back in to serve as his client, stepping in the blood when he took his keys back. We've done all we can with that item. We've done all we can with that item.
You're in luck. One of our Hawkeye detectives found your turkey in a dumpster by the gallery. It's got a broken beak and a few other surprises. Give it a close look.
Hey, Warwick, I could use an update on the art gallery homicide.
Sure. First, our new CSI is all over this thing. We've already got time of death and the murder weapon.
Not bad for your first night.
Yeah, well, let's not break our hand patting our back. We got miles to go before we sleep. Plenty of leads, but no firm suspects. Any ideas, Kath?
Sometimes the evidence we collect has more evidence on it. I suggest you give all your evidence another hard look. Murder weapon, especially. May find something key toward completing your trinity.
Okay, rookie. You heard the boss. Let's go back to square one with fresh eyes. Who's to say where the substance came from, since our murder weapon was found in a damn dumpster? Collected, though. You never know. Till you know. So, the perched predator had a feast for his last supper. Let's test the blood to see what type of mammal was on the menu. We've done all we can with that item. We've done all we can with that item. Bingo. That custom paint from Patrick's brushes matches the paint on the murder weapon. Well, the blood on the beak is Rachel's, and the beak fits the wound, so we have our murder weapon. But who killed her?
Okay. Seeking evidence of the gallery owner's financial woes, which makes a good motive for murder. I know a judge I can call to open that safe. You've got some good evidence on Patrick. I can call a judge and get a search warrant to cover anything with paint on it. Is that wide enough of a brush for you?
Bank records. If Ackerman's got money trouble, they should tell us. What's this? Another controlled substance? Look, I'm no longer a betting man, but if I was... Methamphetamine powder, aka speed, crank, chalk, or rose by any other name. Meth interferes with the brain's neurotransmitters. It affects the brain and spinal cord. They used to use it for diet pills and nasal decongestants, but today it puts the rec in recreational drug. Well, well. These samples are the same stash as the other stuff we found. Maybe art isn't all that Mr. Ackerman's dealing.
How's it going?
Close, Kath. Real close. Rookie's done good so far. We just found more meth at the gallery.
That doesn't fit what Doc Robbins says about the Vic's tox screen. Negative on meth in her system, so it wasn't meth-infused rage, no matter what you found.
Good to know. Okay, Rook. Let's see how somebody just saying yes to drugs figures in.
He's on his way to interrogation now.
The Nathan Ackerman Fine Art Studio has thrived over the past 12 years I've been in business, and we've never been more vital. I'm even expanding my staff. The suggestion that we are anything other than financially sound is an insult.
Well, let me add some injury to that insult. This shredded document says Rachel Maddox was suing you for a breach of contract.
Perhaps I should have mentioned that. But really, such minor disagreements are common in a business of this nature. All I can think of is that many of my clients are wealthy, and I'm dealing with artists constantly, and those are two classes of people who are known to use recreational drugs. Someone apparently used them in my back office without my knowledge.
Even though you keep it locked?
Well, if that's the case, it's a violation of my trust. I'd be lying if I said that those two weren't capable of such tasteless shenanigans, but it obviously didn't take place in my presence.
No, just in your gallery, in your back office. Is there anything else you neglected to mention?
Insults upon insult. I cooperate fully, and this is what I get. But it might be possible that Rachel and Mark brought that meth into my space. After all, if they were capable of semi-public fornication, what weren't they capable of?
Good point. Only we found drugs in your safe.
Maybe they found some way to get past the lock and planted those drugs in there to cause me difficulties. Rachel was suing me after all.
I'm afraid not. Toxicology on Rachel came up negative for meth.
No, I'm getting back on my feet. It's a phase in the life of a successful business. Yes, I've stared bankruptcy in its foul face, but not because of any malfeasance or incompetence on my part. It's the unreliable likes of these artists, and Patrick Milton is the poster child of these irresponsible flakes. And since I am indeed filing Chapter 11, the threat of a lawsuit means nothing.
Maybe so, but that stash of meth means something. Like you're dealing, maybe?
I keep hearing you want to cooperate, Mr. Ackerman. That works better without lies.
I do not deal in drugs. That was a misguided effort on my part to buy a commodity that I could turn around and give to Patrick Milton in exchange for some of what I owed him, and make a sort of profit doing it. I had to keep him happy, because the money Rachel Maddox would pay for the wedding artwork would have gone a long way toward getting me out of this financial hole. Is that forthright enough for you?
But you didn't get art from Patrick, or money from Rachel, so you struck back at the both of them and grabbed that statue, killing two stones with one bird.
I killed no one. I mailed a package.
If you did, it wasn't at your regular shipping service, because nobody there remembers seeing you. We've even checked their surveillance tapes, and you aren't starring in them. You don't even make a cameo appearance.
I do have an alibi. I really do. But it's rather embarrassing. You see, I was with my, dreadful term, bookie. Here I am, a long-time Vegas resident, and I make the same mistake as the stupid tourist. I try to get ahead by betting. And what money I did have, I lost. As you probably already know, I am financially ruined. Finished. But I've said I'd cooperate, and I will. Here's the number to call to confirm.
We'll need to check with Brass about this first. Our gallery guy's busted flatter than a stretched canvas. We've done all we can with that item. Hey, you need a hint?
That's outrageous. There's nothing here that has anything to do with your stupid investigation. You're violating my sanctuary.
Well, you're violating this warrant. Move. So this is the famous painting in progress. Blue paint. But is it the blue paint? Now here's the statue our artist friend was finishing up the night before the wedding. The Vic had an ego, all right. I don't see any paint on her, though. Killer tickets for the hottest show in town, night of the murder. Boy, you're lucky when you land these. You'll want a different tool for that. Someday our prince will come, and this is it. Let's get this over to the lab. A good idea to be thorough, but nothing's there. A good idea to be thorough, but nothing's there. A suspicious bag of powder. Now this paints a whole new picture, doesn't it?
Ackerman's alibi checks. He was with his bookie, all right. But we got him on ice for holding and possibly dealing.
Paint from the art studio matches the murder weapon. Maybe Patrick tried to deliver that painting after all. He grabbed his own artwork and swung it hard. print matches Rachel. Patrick Milton, having them in his possession, ties him directly to her. This matches the same batch of meth from Ackerman, so it appears they have a distinct relationship, and it's not legal. We've done all we can with that item. We've done all we can with that item.
You could serve about 12 warrants on this bozo. He's coming down to the station now, and if he can talk his way out of this, he's a real artist.
You know no such thing. She was a client, and a rich one. She was a pain in the ass, sure, but I wouldn't kill the goose providing the golden eggs. Do I look that stupid?
The evidence says you do.
So I think you went down there to deliver the unfinished painting. Maybe you tried to pass it off as an artistic statement, but Rachel was having none of it. You see, the meth increased your normal rage, so you grabbed the nearest heavy object, ironically signing the murder with your own work. But the painting is oil-based, and it transferred blue paint to the hawk. So you ditched the hawk in a dumpster, but you kept the damaged painting, so it could support your story that you were still working while Rachel was being killed. And as for the wallet, you grabbed the cash and you dumped it. The tickets, I'm sure, were hidden in the cash, and when you noticed them, you tore them up. But you had no idea Rachel's fingerprints remained.
Do you have any idea, any notion at all of what it's like to be an artist? A true artist, and have to put up with the capitalistic needs of that pompous-ass Ackerman reading me the riot act over the phone, that fool. He was the one who made me mad, really. Truly got my negative energies flowing. But when I came around to deliver that damn painting, who was waiting? All by herself. The lovely subject of my painting. And the painting, you've seen it yourself, it's a masterpiece. It can still use some finishing touches.
Only you gave the model, not the painting, the finishing touches, didn't you, Patrick?
The woman was a 14-carat bitch. She had the nerve to attack my painting, to criticize me. Face too bright, hair too dark, dress draped improperly, proportions all wrong. God, if I only had the courage to depict the inner her, the demon behind that beautiful face. She's lucky I didn't. She's lucky.
Well, she's also dead. She was your boss, Patrick. Night before her wedding, she had to chase you around for the artwork she commissioned. Ever think maybe she had a point?
Easy for you. Easy for you. You weren't there. You weren't the brunt of her verbal blows.
Yeah, but she was the brunt of your literal blows.
Fine. I did it. I rid the world of a monster, a shrill, unrelenting witch. I did her the favor of making her beauty live forever through my art, and the world a favor by ridding it of her inner ugliness. Satisfied? And now I'm tired. I need rest. I need peace. Some quiet. time to contemplate, and time alone to create my art. Thank you.
Well, you'll have plenty of time alone from here on out.